What's happening around the world and what's happening here at home? A very good evening to you and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Well, it's indeed a sad day for Sri Lankans and fans of Sri Lanka cricket because just a short while ago the ICC board announced that Sri Lanka cricket has been suspended with immediate effect. More on that will be coming up shortly, but first let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Sri Lanka's chief selector hints at conspiracy over poor World Cup performance. Sports minister to go to court with private lawyers. Doctors take to the streets demanding economic justice. NMRA gets a new acting CEO, while criticism mounts over the new position given to the former CEO.
In your top story for tonight, the International Cricket Council Board has suspended Sri Lanka cricket's membership of the ICC with immediate effect. The ICC board met today and determined that Sri Lanka cricket is in serious breach of its obligations as a member, in particular the requirement to manage its affairs autonomously and ensure that there is no government interference in the governance, regulation and/or administration of cricket in Sri Lanka. The conditions of the suspension will be decided by the ICC board in due course. Meanwhile, the chairman of the ICC, chairman of the Sri Lanka Cricket Select Committee says that within 2 days, he would reveal whether or not a conspiracy took place leading to Sri Lanka's poor performance at the ongoing ICC Men's Cricket World Cup.
I will not say anything now. I will reveal everything in 2 days. What happened was disappointing. We lost and underperformed. Give me 2 days. I will reveal the reason for the collapse. I will speak to everyone and the media. However, in these 2 days, you must think wisely about what happened.
Sri Lanka cricket
No, we had a plan. In the future, you will see how the team performs. Give me 2 days. I will reveal everything. I accepted my responsibility and I will not shy away from it. I will reveal all the details, including any possible conspiracy about who led to the collapse and who wanted to sabotage us. I will explain in the future. It was not only in the World Cup. There was a conspiracy by a group. That is what happened. Give me a few days.
Sri Lanka were eliminated from the first round of the 2023 ICC Men's Cricket World Cup and they returned to the island early on Friday, and it was then that the chief of selectors made these revelations. In the 9 games Sri Lanka played, they could only manage to win 2 and conceded all other 7 games. Several members from Sri Lanka cricket were at the Katunayake airport premises to welcome the men's national cricket team that was led by Kusal Mendes.
I am disappointed that we could not end our run at the World Cup on a positive note. There is nothing much to say. We started well and after our losses, we wanted to know what we can do. Everyone supported me. We cannot control the wins or the losses. When we underperform, we lose. We will try and play well in the future.
Thank you.
I am disappointed. We did not perform well as a team. We hope to move forward by rectifying our issues. The fans were always with us. They love us. They were with us when we won and lost. We failed to make them happy.
Meanwhile, Sri Lanka's Justice Minister Dr. Vijayadas Rajapaksa said that though Parliament passed a resolution to remove the Sri Lanka Cricket Administration, the relevant decision must be taken by the court. At the same time, the country's Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe is preparing to go to court with a private council.
Sri Lanka's parliament debated for an entire day to remove the Sri Lanka Cricket Administration and to introduce new laws for the sport, and thereafter passed a resolution for the purpose. However, can this resolution be sufficient to remove the SLC office bearers?
අභියාචනාධිකරණයේ මේ පිළිබඳව නඩු කටයුතු 3ක් පවතිනවා.
3 cases were filed with the Court of Appeal over the matter. The Sports Minister will make submissions to the court in the future. The court will thereafter deliver an appropriate ruling.
සුදුසු නියෝගයක් නිකුත් කිරීමට සිද්ධ වෙනවා.
ඒක බලපානවද අධිකරණ කටයුතු වලට මෙම යෝජනාව ගෙනීම?
ඒක අධිකරණ කටයුතු වලට බලපාන.
By the looks of it, it can have an impact. All MPs, irrespective from the ruling faction or the opposition, commented on the process. The appropriate process is via the court, and therefore the court will deliver the appropriate ruling. We have no right to comment on what sort of ruling must be delivered by the court.
කර ගැනීමේ ක්‍රමයක් තිබෙන්නේ අධිකරණය තුලමයි. ඒ අනුව ඒ පිළිබඳව අධිකරණ සුදුසු නියෝගයක් දෙයි. ඒ කුමන නියෝගයක් විය යුතුද යන්න පිළිබඳව මතයක් ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න අපිට අයිතියක් නැහැ.
Sri Lanka Sports Minister says he will go to court on Monday, the 13th of November.
I will go to the Court of Appeal on Monday. We hope to secure justice, and if not, we will also go to the Supreme Court. I have no faith in the Attorney General. I will obtain the services of a private counsel. The 2018 audit revealed a plethora of fraud and corruption. The Attorney General was given it to take legal action, but no such action was taken. The money in cricket is powerful.
ක්‍රිකට් එකේ සල්ලි මාරු බලවත් අල්ලන්නේ නැති ආයතනයක් නේ.
Sri Lanka's opposition alleged that when it called for a division in parliament during the debate on the resolution on removing the administration of Sri Lanka cricket, an opportunity for a vote was not given.
ගරු කතානායකතුමනි මම ඔබතුමාගෙන් අහන්න කැමතියි මේ සභාගර්භයේ മന്ത്രിවරයෙකුට ඩිවිෂන් එකක් ඉල්ලන්න අයිතියක් තියනවද නැද්ද?
ඒකමතිකයි කියලා තමුන්නාසලා සියලු දෙනාම මේක මුලින් ඉඳන්ම ආවේ ඒකමතික යෝජනාව.
ඒක නෙවෙයි ගරු කතානායකතුමනි. ඒක නෙවෙයි. ස්ථාවර නියෝග.
The standing orders have made it clear. The Secretary General and the other secretariats said that you instructed on a division. I would like to know why you violated the privileges of an MP. You violated the standing order.
එක්සතු වරප්‍රසාදයේ කඩ කරේ කියලා මම අහන්න කැමතියි. ඔබතුමා ස්ථාවර නියෝග කඩ කරලා තියෙන්නේ.
සභාවේ එකඟතාවයේ අනුව තමයි අපි කටයුතු කරන්නේ. ඒක සභාවේ එකඟද කියලා මම 3 වාරයක් අහලා තමයි මේ
අපි ඩිවිෂන් එකක් ඉල්ලුවා. ඔබතුමා අපි සතු අයිතිය පැහැර හැරියා.
හරි.
එහෙම කරන්න එපා ඔබතුමා. නෑ කවුද උපදෙස් දුන්නේ එහෙම කරන්න?
ඔබතුමා එහෙම හිතනවා නම් හිතන්න.
ටෙලිෆෝන් කෝල් එකක් ආවද?
මම කියන්නේ සභාව සම්පූර්ණ සභාවේ එකඟතාවයේ මත ඒ තීන්දුව ගත්තා කියලා.
Opposition leader questioned in parliament as to if there is a risk of the International Cricket Council imposing a ban on Sri Lanka.
ඒගොල්ලෝ කියලා තියනවලු
They have said that they will speak to Shah from India and impose a ban on the Sri Lanka cricket team within 48 to 72 hours. What steps are we going to take against this? What is the decision of the 225 MPs here? What is our decision? They are going to get Sri Lanka banned on the allegation that we are interfering in their independence.
තන්ත්‍රවාදයට ඇඟිලි ගහනවායි කියලා.
හැබැයි ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන එක නෙමේ හරියට අර ක්‍රිකට් ටූර්නමන්ට් එකක් ගහලා පරාද වෙලා ආයේ ක්‍රිකට් ටූර්නමන්ට් එකට ඇවිල්ලා ගහනවා වගේ
පොයින්ට් ඔෆ් ඕඩර් එකක් නැහැ. කරුණාකරලා නිස්සද්ද වෙන්න.
අපි දිනපු දේ ඒකමතික තීන්දුව පරාජයක්.
Was the unanimous decision a loss? You said it was unanimous, but is it a loss? This person does not understand it, but he understands to kill. His uncle did the same.
වාඩියනෝ හලෝ. ඉස්සු දොඩවන්නේ. මීහරක. බබා ඔබතුමාට කියන්න කැමතියි. ඉස්සගේ කටට මම බය නෑ.
Please allow us to debate on the successful resolution on cricket.
ක්‍රිකට් වෙනුවෙන් පාර්ලිමේන්තු සංසදයට ඔබතුමා ඉඩක් දෙන්න.
මට ඊයේ සඳහන් කරන්නත් බැරි වුණා KT චිත්‍රසිරි වාර්තාවේ හැදුවා.
I didn't mention this yesterday, but as KT Chitrasiri's report was prepared, the same 301 courthouse gave a decision suspending the implementation of this report. Even the president has accepted this report by KT Chitrasiri as good. The Auditor General has revealed that a group has been involved in corruption and they are guilty of wrongdoing. On the other hand, a new constitution should be passed and a new group needs to be appointed. Until this new board is appointed, are we allowing these thieves to hold office, or will we appoint a person who has brought much honor to the sport during that interim period to fix this? That is the decision that has to be taken. I saw an MP speaking negatively about this and saying, what if Sri Lanka is suspended? Let's say that they suspend us We should hand this over to Arjun Ranatunga to fix these issues and then pass a new constitution and go for the next matches. Give your concurrence for this to move forward.
අපි නිලවරණයකට ගිහිල්ලා මේ පනත සම්මත කරගෙන ඊළඟ තරඟ වලට යන්න. ඒක එකගත්වය ලබා දෙන්න ඉස්සරහට යන්න.
Leader of the Jatika Jana Balawegaya, Anura Kumara Dissanayake, responded to the allegations levelled against the Jatika Jana Balawegaya for not being present in Parliament when the proposal to remove the Sri Lanka Cricket Board was passed in Parliament yesterday.
Honourable Speaker, what's happening now is Ranil Wickramasinghe, the Cricket Board and Sagal Ratnayaka are all on one team. That is always the losing team. The team with the people of this country is against that team. The Cricket Board has always been controlled by three families. At times there are conflicts between these families, at times they are agreeable. It is clear that these families are the Dharmadasa family, the Sumatipala family and the Ranatunga family. And now even the Vijayadasa family has a small part in this. That is the Cricket Board. Is that not the truth? When parliamentarian Vijit Herath from our party said that the chief organizer of the government, Prasanna Ranatunga, says that Shammi Silva has given us money. Who is saying this? A convicted extortionist. Prasanna Ranatunga is a convicted extortionist. He was punished by the High Court. He was fined 25 million rupees for extorting a businessman. He was ordered to pay 2 million as compensation for extorting a businessman. His sentence was suspended for 4 years for the offence of extortion. Don't go mouthing off in Parliament. I would like to ask Prasanna to say this outside of Parliament if he can. But I will speak about Prasanna in Parliament as well as outside of Parliament. Remember that a proposal was prepared when the business committee met. This proposal that was prepared was presented by the opposition leader and seconded by a minister of the government. The opposition leader proposed it and the government seconded. We believed that there will be no division. So we believed that there is no point in us remaining in the well of Parliament if a division was not going to be held. We did not believe that anyone will ask for a division. Countless times before parliamentarians have left the well of Parliament when there is no division. It was not because any one of us were vouching for Shammi or the Cricket Board. We did not start talking about these demons at the Cricket Board today. I remember when Sunil Handu Netti was the chairman of COPE, he summoned the Cricket Board. It was then it was revealed that an account was opened in the United States and they were dealing privately through that account and that they attempted to transfer funds due to the Cricket Board to this account in the United States. We revealed all of this. In the issue regarding Shammi and Dharmadasa, we have clearly spoken about Shammi, Dharmadasa, how they have wasted the money of the general public, how they use that money for their personal benefit. We also spoke about how the Cricket Board does not have any discipline and how a crisis has been created among the cricket players because of the inability of the Cricket Board to manage the team. We have spoken about this extensively. Also, I spoke to the minister personally and asked him to appoint an interim committee and stop this theft. We are not people who are trying to protect this current Cricket Board. We have always been of the position that they must be removed. Don't make unfounded allegations in Parliament. Not only that, we are also not satisfied about the interim committee that he appointed. Consult Minister Vijayadasa and appoint a committee to investigate the corruption and fraud at the SLC. But don't appoint a cricket board like that. What's the point in appointing retired judges to the SLC? I spoke to him and told him what my personal opinion. Appoint senior cricket players like Siddharth Vettimuni. Everyone accepts them. Appoint a team like that and manage this team.
ක්‍රිකට් කෙනෙක් මේකට දාන්න. ඒගොල්ලෝ ගැන හැම කෙනාම පිළිගන්නවා. එවැනි කණ්ඩායම දාලා මගේ මෙහෙමන්න කියලා කිව්වා. පළමුවෙන්ම
Firstly, he said that he can speak about the case against me both inside and outside of Parliament. I will not speak about this case in Parliament, Honourable Speaker, as I have appealed the judgment in the matter. Until that case is heard, I am not guilty of this.
වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඔබතුමන් ඉල්ලන ඔබතුමා මෙතන කිව්වා සම්මිගෙන් ක්‍රිකට් බෝඩ් එකෙන් අපිට සල්ලි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා කියලා. අරු කතා කරා. හරිද? දැන් ඒක කරුණාකරලා ඔප්පු කරන්න. කිව්වා මට ඒක සනාථ කරන්න බෑ. මේක මට කිව්වේ වෙන කවුරුත් නෙමෙයි. ඔබතුමන්ලත් එක්ක හිටපු කෙනෙක් දේශපාලනේ. කවුද? මට එහෙම මේ ආණ්ඩු පක්ෂ ප්‍රධාන සංවිධායක කවුරු හරි කිය.
This is the chief organizer of the government. Is he here to just come and say things that were told to him by someone else? When reports citing your statement that we might have received money are being published, do you expect us not to respond? If your allegations are true,
Prove it. If you can, make this allegation outside Parliament.
නම් එළිය කියන්න ඒක මම දැනුත් කියනවා.
The residents in Matada have been suffering due to floods for a long time now. Newsfirst inquired into the situation faced by these people today.
This was the situation at several areas in the Mathura district today. The Mathura road from Akurasa via Kadduwa was underwater from Malimbad area, and the Malimbad Velathota road was also inundated at several places. Our correspondent stated that the Kadduwa Narangala road was flooded near Narangala. Flood water from the Nilwala river has not receded for over a month, against a backdrop where a decision was reached to complete the construction of the salinity barrier in the area. The removal of debris from the one side of the canal of the salinity barrier is still underway.
දැන් ආයිත් වරුසා වැඩි වෙලා කද්දු මාර්ගේ දැන් මාසෙකට වැඩි යට වෙලා තියෙන කොම්පාගාරේ තෙල් නැතේ කියලා කියනවා. තෙල් නැති වුණොත් මේ වතුර බහින්නේ නැහැ. දැන් මේ ගොවියන්ගේ වන්දි මුදල් තාම ලබා දීලා නැහැ.
About 75 houses in several villages near the Hambantota port were also flooded from time to time. This is the situation in the houses of Mirijavila, Rotavela, Hunukotamulla, Oscan Road last night. Villagers point out that this situation arose due to the non-drainage of rainwater after the construction of the border wall at the Hambantota International Port.
Gmade, made in Sri Lanka.
Many Sri Lankans are facing a plethora of issues when it comes to meeting their simple daily requirements, including food, water, medicine, and their children's education. These Sri Lankans reveal their hardships to the Gmade door-to-door teams visiting rural villages in the country.
The Gmade door-to-door teams got an insight into the dark side of the fertilizer crisis when meeting with the rice farmers of Polonnaruwa.
සුදාදරුවට මව්කිරි දෙනවා හා සමානයි මඩ පොහොර දෙනවා කියන එක ගොයමට මුල්ලවදී. ඒක නොලැබෙනවා නම් බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් හෙක්ටයාර් එක රුපියල් 15000 දානවා කියලා කටකතාවට කියනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ හෙක්ටයාර් එක කියන්නේ අක්කර දෙකමාරයි. අක්කර දෙකමාරකට රුපියල් 15000 නෙමෙයි 30000කින්වත් අපිට පිටින් ගත්තට පොහොර ගන්න බෑ.
These are the people of the Ratmale village in Polonnaruwa. The same fate had befallen on the villages of Mahavalitana, Parakumyaya and Maitrigama. In the village of Dipulana in Singhapura, for many years the 400 plus families living here have been consuming unhealthy water.
වකුගඩු රෝගය කිව්වම මේ ගමේ දැන්ටත් රජයෙන් ආධාර ලබන අය ඉන්න 15කට 20කට වැඩි. ඒකට ආධාර නොලබන අයත් තව 15ක් 20ක් ඉන්නවා ගන්න ලයිස්ට්ුවේ ඉන්නවා. කියන්නේ ලීටර් එකකට රුපියල් 2ක් ගෙවන්න ඕන. සමහර තැන්වල ලීටර් රුපියල් 3යි. ඉතින් ඒකත් එක්ක සාමාන්‍ය ගෙදරකට වතුර ලීටර් 20ක්වත් අඩුම ගෙදරට ගේන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මං විතරක් බොන්නනේ මේ.
The Gmade door-to-door team in the Jaffna district visited the Vadravattai, Periyapokkani and Kopai villages located in the divisional areas of Kopai as well as villages in the Tellipale division. Many of those living in the Anthonypuram village in Palali, Tellipale are fishermen by profession and support the survival of 200 families. According to them, illegal poaching by Indian fishermen, fish imports and the rising cost of fishing equipment are some of the issues they face. Although there are many who speak about how work needs to be done, there are some villages in Sri Lanka without proper access roads. The roads leading to the Pahalahenyaya village in Ratnapura, which is home to around 100 families, have no proper access roads. As a result of poorly maintained roads, villagers in Mathekanda cannot carry their tea leaves and students cannot go to school on time.
ළමයි ඉස්කෝලේ යන්න බෑග් ගියනවා. ඉතින් දෙපාන්දර 4ට විතර නැගිටින්න ඕනේ. ආය හවස 4 විතර වෙනවා මේ ටිකේ. ගෙදරට එනකොට මේ වැස්සට දෙමි.
The Gmade door-to-door team also visited Ridhivita village in Kotakethana, Kahavatta. The fourth day of the 7th edition of the Gmade door-to-door program took place in the Polonnaruwa, Ratnapura and Jaffna districts. This is just the beginning of this journey. The Gmade door-to-door program will reach more villages to understand the ground situation of rural Sri Lanka.
Gmade, made in Sri Lanka.
Newsfirst with the people.
An acting chief executive officer has been appointed to the National Medicine Regulatory Authority, and that was after Dr. Vijay Gunasekara, who held that position, was removed from that position with immediate effect.
Senior chemist D.D. Bulat Sinhala has been appointed as the new acting chief executive officer of the National Medicine Regulatory Authority. The appointment was done by the board of directors of the NMRA. The chairman of the NMRA, Dr. Ananda Vijay Vikrama, said that a permanent appointment will be made for the post of chief executive officer of the National Drug Regulatory Authority in the near future. Dr. Vijit Gunasekara, who was the chief executive officer of the NMRA, was recently removed from the position. Recently, allegations were levelled against the former chairman, chief executive officer and other parties of the National Drug Regulatory Authority regarding the distribution of substandard medicine. Accordingly, Professor S.D. Jayaratne, who served as its chairman, was removed recently and specialist Dr. Ananda Vijay Vikrama was appointed as its new chairman. Thereafter, the former CEO of the NMRA, Dr. Vijit Gunasekara, was accused of destroying sensitive material by the health trade unions. Meanwhile, today, the health professionals alleged that the former CEO of the NMRA has been appointed as the director of the National Medical Research Institute.
It has been reported that he assumed duties in the post of director of the Medicine Research Institute this morning. Do you remember the report given by Dedun Dias regarding substandard medicine? The director who gave the report about that, he is the director of the Medical Research Institute. That means that when there is a committee to investigate an issue with regard to medicine in the NMRA, the head of that committee and the head of the Technical Assessment Committee will be the Medical Research Institute. Then, in an effort to correct the mistakes of the NMRA, the head of the NMRA was removed from that position and made the director of the Medical Research Institute. Ultimately, the punishment has been suffered by the former director of the Medical Research Institute, who submitted a report regarding this substandard medicine.
The budget for the upcoming year is scheduled to be presented to Parliament next Monday. A number of parties are currently demanding an allowance of 20,000 rupees from the budget, and a number of other sectors are emphasizing that the unfair tax policy should be changed.
The Government Medical Officers Association organised a series of protests and emphasised that the unfair tax policy, mass exodus of health professionals and the issues relating to the collapse of the health service should be addressed immediately. This was at a protest held opposite the General Hospital.
Medical officers leaving the country due to the economic crisis is a significant issue. A majority have now received the green light to leave the country. If there is a shortage of medical staff, it is obvious what will happen to the health sector. We are requesting the government and the officials to provide some relief to the medical staff and reduce their tax burden and provide an environment for the health sector staff to continue employment in this country.
A protest was held opposite the National Institute of Infectious Diseases, citing the various issues faced by doctors in the country. A protest was held this afternoon opposite the Gampaha District Hospital. A protest was held opposite the Kaluthara Teaching Hospital, demanding economic justice.
In the Kaluthara Teaching Hospital, 15 to 20 doctors have left the country. Another 30 or 40 are preparing to leave the country. This is a tragic situation. We are urging the government to give the medical staff adequate economic relief. That is our primary demand.
This is the protest held opposite the Horana District Hospital.
Former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Peradeniya, Professor Upul B. Disanayake, was presented with the honorary title of the Order of the Rising Sun by the government of Japan in Kandy.
The event to present the honorary title of the Order of the Rising Sun to Professor Upul Disanayake took place under the auspices of the Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka. The Japanese government had named Professor Upul Disanayake for the honorary title of the Order of the Rising Sun in recognition of his service for uplifting Japan-Sri Lanka economic and cultural cooperation. Professor Disanayake was the 21st Vice-Chancellor of the University of Peradeniya. During his tenure as a Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dissanayake rendered a great service by taking forward many sectors at the University of Peradeniya.
The Order of the Rising Sun is an accolade reserved for those who have demonstrated remarkable dedication and commitment to strengthening the bonds of friendship and cooperation between Japan and their respective countries. Professor Disanayake's exemplary career and tireless efforts to promote academic exchange and foster deeper understanding between our nations make him an indisputable laureate of this prestigious award.
As the recipient of this prestigious award, I would like to express my gratitude and sincere thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister of Japan and the Government of Japan for conferring this prestigious award, Order of the Rising Sun, Gold Race with Neck Ribbon, on me, recognizing my services in terms of Japan-Sri Lanka collaboration. I consider that this conferment a great honor to me, my faculty of Dental Sciences, my university, University of Peradeniya, and by and large to the country.
The World Bank approved $150 million to strengthen the financial sector in Sri Lanka.
The World Bank's Board of Executive Directors approved $150 million in financing for Sri Lanka to strengthen the resilience of the financial sector. Fariz Haddad Zervos, World Bank Country Director for Maldives, Nepal and Sri Lanka, said Sri Lanka's economic crisis highlights the need for strong safety nets to support the financial sector. The Financial Sector Safety Net project is designed to boost the financial and institutional capacity of the Sri Lanka Deposit Insurance Scheme, or the SLDIS, which is managed by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. The financing will help boost reserves of SLDIS, which could be used towards the payout of insured depositors of banks and licensed finance companies. In parallel, the project will support institutional strengthening of the SLDIS in line with international good practices for effective deposit insurance schemes.
Will the 2024 budget provide relief to the people? That is a question on everyone's mind.
Sri Lanka's parliament will meet on Monday at noon for the budget presentation. Will the 2024 budget provide the relief anticipated by the people? There is the discussion on increasing salaries and wages and also reducing taxes. However, at the same time, the value-added tax will be increased to 18% with effect from next year. Sri Lanka has not started repaying its bilateral and multilateral debt. Negotiations on debt restructuring are still ongoing, and China recently announced that a program has been presented via the Export and Import Bank of China. The United States has made it clear that the Chinese program must be shared with other creditors as well. In the midst of all of this, the second tranche of the $2.9 billion package of the IMF-supported program for Sri Lanka is still pending. Although a staff-level agreement was reached, the IMF Executive Board approval is required for the disbursement of funds.
An event titled Pre-Budget Forum, Budgeting for Revenue and Growth, was held in Colombo yesterday.
So what we're expecting to spend on interest is 2.6 trillion, all other recurrent expenditure is 2.7 trillion. So looking forward, when we think strategically about economic recovery, we must remember that reducing the cost of interest is going to be the critical issue for Sri Lanka alongside increasing revenue. Why do I say that? What you see here is Sri Lanka's revenue, interest to revenue ratio. That is, what percentage of is interest cost to government revenue. It was at 72% in 2021. Our projection for 2022 is even higher, and we think this year also it will be close to this amount. And I'm going to end by telling you what it's going to be even if the budget plays out as we have planned at the moment. Now you can see the next highest is Zambia, Malawi, Brazil. These are not well-performing countries, but Sri Lanka is not only the highest in the world, but it's so extreme that if you had to pick one country where the economy is likely to fail based on the cost of interest to revenue, it would be Sri Lanka by far. And if you don't take that problem seriously and have a plan to solve the interest to revenue cost, then bringing debt under control is really difficult. debt has to keep rising exponentially if you can't reduce the cost of interest to government revenue.
Views were also expressed on the special commodity levy.
The level of discretion on the changing the special commodity levy is so high that the minister can not only overnight have different taxes put on different products, from Bombay onions to sugar to whatever it is, but he can also give different taxes to different importers. So one importer gets this amount, another gets that amount. And in fact, that has also been done. The records we have are it's done for particular government entities getting lower taxes, but it's not always easy to know what was done and what was reversed a few days later. So, and these exact same level of discretion was in another tax proposal called the special GST, but that got challenged in the Supreme Court. And the court said, the way in which it offended the Constitution was so much that it was not enough to have a two-third majority in Parliament. It needed a referendum to pass. But that kind of ridiculously high level of discretion that, according to the judgment of the court, is now in the special commodity levy. And the governance diagnostic of civil society has asked that this be curtailed. The IMF has gone further and said that you should actually repeal this law, because these are the ways that the country has been losing revenue by giving undue discretion to decision makers.
MTV Digital won the Bronze Award at the Slim Digis 2.3 Awards for handling the innovative digital media campaign created for Money Drop Season 1, aired on Sirasa TV.
The Slim Digis 2.3 Awards were held yesterday in Colombo. There, under the category of cross-media integration, MTV Digital won the Bronze Award for handling the innovative digital media campaign created for Money Drop Season 1, which aired on Sirasa TV. Slim Digis intends to celebrate Sri Lanka's best digital marketing endeavours, innovation and talent, and recognises the region's growing influence on the global digital industry. The award programme encourages work which is innovative, contemporary and in line with global standards, which will inspire our digital marketing industry and the next generation of practitioners.
Day 45 of the LOLC Davia program took place in the Nuwara district.
The second leg of the LOLC Davia program will provide school books and stationery items to schools with less than 100 students. Students will be provided school books and stationery for a period of 1 year under the program. This worthy initiative is a collaboration between the LOLC Group and the Ministry of Education. Today, the LOLC Davia program took place at the Nuwara Education Zone, where 2,822 children from 42 government schools were given school books and stationery. Students from the Vidya Chakra Sinhala Vidyalaya, Sandatana Demla Vidyalaya, Haggala Vidyalaya and Gmade Vidyalaya benefited from the program. In addition, school books and stationery items were also distributed to the students of Concordia Tamil Vidyalaya, St. John's Tamil Vidyalaya, Eskadale Tamil Vidyalaya and Goatvale Tamil Vidyalaya. Most students benefited from the program at the Nuwara Zonal Education Office. The LOLC Davia program will continue to create a bright future for the country's student population.
And with that, we wrap up news for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Do take care and good night.